Hi everyone. I know that I haven't been here for a long time and I am sorry. However, I had an urge to come and film today because I need to convince myself that I do not need a nude palette. The Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette is not a new release in terms of absolute amount of content that has come out. A lot of people have had it already for more than a week, but it is now the 1st of September and it is today available on Look Fantastic for me in the Netherlands because I don't have a Sephora. And I was about to buy it, and then I was talking to my friend Mandy that I'm like, I don't know if I need it, I don't know if I'll use it. Mariam, who's here on YouTube and has the palette already a little bit longer, has done some content on it. She told me that she doesn't think I'd like it because they're too much cool tones, and if I don't like glam, I also won't like this one. So today we are here to look at my collection of neutral eyeshadows, nude eyeshadows, and see if I need this nude palette or not, and if I'm gonna buy it today or not. I'm not necessarily looking to dupe the vibes, or like maybe the vibes, yes, but I may actually be also looking for, do I have enough browns and nudes to give me that feeling, and I don't need the Natasha Denona palette. Is what I have enough? I mean, most people would say, yes, you have enough, Alice. And actually, there's more palettes that I didn't put in here. These are all my singles, but I also want to put these palettes in. And of course, I still have glam. I didn't declutter it. There was a good comment about it actually on a recent reel that I posted on my Instagram, that I should keep this to complete my other palettes, which is what I did this summer and is also correct. So let's go through these. I have one empty palette right here to fill with a new neutral inspired palette and see if I can just give myself that joy of neutrals with what I have instead of buying a new one. That Visa palette is too warm, that we already know. Here you can see my Going Coconuts palette. It's been butchered and most things are actually in this custom Colourpop palette that I haven't used in so long, but I love the look of already. So I'm gonna touch through these and see if I can dupe the vibes of this palette. I am going off of swatches from Regina on Instagram, and she's also on YouTube. So I am going to, yeah, just go off these swatches. I'll link her Instagram and her video down in the description box. And I must say, I have a hard time understanding really the undertones of this palette, and that is because in some pictures this looks quite warm to me. In other pictures it looks quite cool, and I'm not sure. But the comparison she did, these give me joy, like a lot of joy. Anyways, you'll find the link to her Instagram and the post down in the description box below. And let's get started. For the sake of space on my desk, I'm gonna start by pulling out shades from my singles that I want to include or look at. And these are two Lethal Cosmetics. It's Midway and Lithium. Definitely going in. I was looking at this guy right here as well. He's my favorite. It is my favorite. Lore. This is a beautiful sandy, but I think if you look at it, it's a bit too warm for what we are looking for. And probably I might look back into the deep browns right here, which are really good by Lethal Cosmetics. But I'll just take this out of the contest, let's say. I must say, the moment I opened these palettes, I have glam right here, I kind of was like, okay, then I really don't need it. I don't know, I feel like I do have a lot of very good neutrals. Maybe they're just not in the right place. And there is something to be said about having everything in like one compact palette that you can rearrange and customize. There is something to say about that. This one is White Truffle by Nabla Cosmetics. I know Nabla reformulated, but these are the feather mattes and they were really good and I'm never gonna get rid of them. Latte by Makeup Geek I have, that is also on the cooler side. Hayride. What's in here that could be? Brownie Points. Could be something similar to Stone in the new Natasha Denona palette. And Is there a dark brown? I'm sure there's a dark brown in there. Yeah, quite a cool toned one. Then maybe the one that I have here from Lethal Cosmetics is the right one to add. This guy right here is Nocturnal. It's really deep though. I don't know if Natasha Denona goes that deep, to be honest. It doesn't look like it from swatches, but I find it really hard to tell from swatches of this palette, I must say. The lighting is so important, and not, yeah, sometimes it's harder than expected. Who are you? Noche by Colourpop. Looks not cool enough. So at least a few palettes are out of the way, or single palettes. And here I have all of my neutral shimmers and sparkles and things like that. And these are gonna be really important. This is Glam Shop Frozen Brown. I have Colored Rain Amazon Basin. What are you? You're a holographic. I don't think you're necessary. I have this marble that's called Crystal from Glam Shop that could be very similar to one of the really light ones. This is called Nut by Glam Shop, a really silvery shade. I don't think that is appropriate for this today. This is Nabla's Water Dream. That's just a topper. I never use this. My goodness. Also, can we talk about being a mom of weaning kids? I have Sweet Potato on my watch since dinner last night. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. I know there's a light pink sparkle in there, which could be Vivacious by Colourpop. I think even Temptalia might have put it as one of her dupes, because I read Temptalia's article actually on this. Then again, it's not something I wear, so I don't know that I should add it in this palette of mine. I have some more here. This is from Morphe Paradise from Glam Shop. It's very, very dark. Not that sparkly. I think it's one of their velvet. Is that? No, just a normal eyeshadow. Not that sparkly. And I think we already actually narrowed it down quite a bit. I know that there is a peachy shade in that palette. Do we need a peachy shade in this selection? Do I have a peachy shade on hand? Maybe this guy, which is Kit from Nabla Cosmetics, could do that for me. Otherwise, Bake Sale by Makeup Geek. There is also a more mid-toned, I want to say it's a reddish brown shade that is called Vogue, and I wonder if one of these Lethal Cosmetics up here, am I gonna make a hole in them? It's possible. It's a bit like playing Tetris. One of these could work. I'll also pull out this one again. And there's always the option of Wild West by Makeup Geek, which is one of the best shadows they've ever made. Let's start looking at these. I'm sure I'm missing something, but let me start swatching them and seeing if it's something if there's something comparable. I'm gonna start with Brownie Points. That could be the equivalent of Stone in the palette, which is the first matte in there. It is quite a cool toned brown. And the next one would be White Truffle. This one has more of a yellow undertone than a gray, but you can see that it's still quite cool toned. Yellow, would you call it yellow? I don't know, maybe more of a brown. We have Hayride by Makeup Geek right here. That is lighter and a little bit more pink. Midway by Lethal Cosmetics. So, it's so cold, you guys. I have like goosebumps from how cold it is today. It's gonna be a maximum of 19 and it's pouring rain. This guy has a dent. It's a Latte by Makeup Geek. All of these are great. They are quite similar though. They have different undertones, but they are all quite similar. Let's get into the mid-tone mattes. This is Wild West. That fits really well in this palette, I think. Loom might be too warm. Or not. It's a bit more neutral than Wild West. You can see that Wild West is a little bit cooler. And Hollow. Which is the more brown of the three. I think maybe Hollow is the one that fits the least with the swatches that I'm seeing. Let me put that to the side. And then for the dark ones I have Kindlewood by Lethal Cosmetics and Nocturnal. Maybe Nocturnal is too dark for this. Yeah, it's almost a black. I think Kindlewood would work better. And of course what I'm missing is also this peachier shade. I don't think this is gonna be enough of a peachy shade compared to like some of the swatches. It looks almost straight up orange. I definitely have something more peachy. I'm thinking of either this one or this one, which are the News from Colourpop or Pumpkin from Makeup Geek. I don't have a lot of these shades because I just don't really wear them a lot. Let me see how this one looks. Probably closer to what I see, but a mix between this one and these two would be probably the closest that I'm seeing on swatches. Do you even see it? Here. These two. I guess I'll take Pumpkin for now. The News seems too pink for this right now. I think also I'm missing a very light shade in here, so I'm gonna pull up Coconut Milk from Nabla Cosmetics, which is just a very light, I don't know, maybe too light actually. Maybe too light for the purposes. Would this guy work, or would it be too yellow? Too yellow, I think. I must say that when I do videos like this, I really miss my ginormous eyeshadow collection, but it's kind of beyond the point. I'm duping it for myself, and if I got rid of eyeshadows, it means I don't need them in my life anyways. So we're gonna keep in Coconut Milk for the scope of this video, which is not me giving you perfect dupes for it. This is me giving myself a way to not buy it or buy it if I want it. I also just realized I have the Bizarre Neutral Mattes here and another very light eyeshadow that is too light. And this one is too peachy. Could be a good option right here for that eyeshadow in the palette. And of course more mattes in here that could very well be candidates. Let's look at what I have now. Light shades. From these lighter ones right here, I think I'm gonna have White Truffle in there, looks similar enough, and I want to say this guy, which was, now this is gonna get difficult. I think Midway, which is this swatch right here. And then there's Wild West and Loom, because Hollow I already removed. So between Wild West and Loom, the closest one I think is Loom, because Wild West is a bit too pink. And we said Kindlewood for the dark shade right here. That brings us to 5 mattes, and we are now missing this peachy shade. That is gonna be Makeup Geek Pumpkin. And actually, the more I look at the swatches, the more there is a really, really dark brown. So I'm gonna pull up Nocturnal by Lethal Cosmetics as well. And that brings us to 7 mattes. We're good with mattes. Let's put these to the side, or back in their palette actually. Looking at the shimmers now, I have to pull out my Pat McGrath Lab Celestial Nirvana Bronze Bliss eyeshadow palette and my Cutie palette, what is it called, Platinum by Nabla Cosmetics, specifically for their sparkliness. I want to say though that specifically Pat McGrath is much more of a very shiny metallic than sparkly, so I'm gonna swatch them here, but I don't think any of these will fit the Natasha Denona palette because they're purely, you can see the high shine on those eyeshadows. There's not a lot of sparkle. So actually that one's out of the running. And here there's amazing sparkle, especially in this color right here that's called Gem System. It's a very cool toned silvery shade. Rich Darling is less of a sparkly shade, more of a also mauvey metallic, mauvey silvery metallic. And then this eyeshadow is also not that sparkly. Interesting. I always in my head imagine Gem System to be warmer than what it looks like right now, and I wonder now why I'm keeping this palette. The matte in here, which is Aristocracy, is gorgeous though. Like, it's a beautiful tone of rosy brown, so that is something. This palette then also doesn't give me anything really to dupe the Natasha Denona one. And then let's look at the single. This is Crystal, and I was thinking this could be one of these very high impact eyeshadows, but this one does not have a lot of sparkle, more of a like metallicness to it. Look at, it's gorgeous though. So not really it. Lithium by Lethal Cosmetics is also not that sparkly. It's beautiful, but I would definitely add it into this sort of palette that I'm building right now. It's beautiful, like it's a neutral brown with a cool topping of it, let's say. Very pretty. Frozen Brown by Glam Shop has more sparkles. I think the particle size looks smaller, but this would also fit very well in here. And Amazon Basin by Colored Rain. I think this is also just a metallic, a gorgeous one at that. Beautiful shine, but no sparkle on there. Two shadows that I want to add are the two from Going Coconuts actually, and they are these two shimmers. One is a rose gold and one is really a sparkly brown. It has more fine sparkle and less of a metallic high shine, as you can see, and they are absolutely beautiful. I don't know, I can't really seem to be finding a lot of overlap with my collection right now. Could it be? Is it possible? I mean, I have a lot of browns, don't get me wrong. This really shows me I do have a lot of browns. And I am, of course, going towards the more cool tone shades. Wanted to pull up my special palette, let's say, to see if there's anything here. This is one of the crystal shadows from Glam Shop. It could be similar in texture. It's much, I think, much bigger particles right here. So I'm not sure it fits that well. And these are just warm. This one is called Magia. It's one of my favorite shadows from Glam Shop, but this is quite warm toned, isn't it? It definitely has nothing to do with this palette, even though there is a shade in the I Need a Nude palette that is more warm, and I think it's the shade called Sheen or Muse. I'm not so sure anymore. Maybe it looks a little bit like Muse. I don't know. I can throw it in there. This guy right here, this could fit in there very well. This is a single shadow from Glaminatrix. When mine broke, this is called Naked Eye. It's from their Nearly Natural palette. And then the shade Mia is this very pink toned topper shade, and I think Vivacious might be the one, or even this guy right here, which was from the Colourpop palette, could be an option here. I want to say that Vivacious is even too pink, if that is even possible. Ooh, that's how you break all your palette, all your singles, Alice. It does not seem like I have a lot of other options, is it? Yes, I can always put Water Dream, actually. It's a beautiful topper. In terms of the Glam palette, one thing that came up is why don't I like it? And if I don't like Glam, I probably won't like I Need a Nude. The reason why I don't like Glam are these shades. Like, this is way too cool toned for me. This is way too cool tone for me. I don't really wear this very dark. And the main thing with the shimmers is that they are so boring. Like, there's nothing there. It's no high shine. There's no sparkle. The only nice one that I like is this that is called Inner Corner, that has a little bit more specialness to it. But to be honest, I have much better shades in my singles. They are just so boring, the shimmers. And the mattes are just not, I don't know. You see? This is so boring compared to all of this. And the mattes are just, yeah, I use usually this one, and I've been now lately picking up this transition shade a little bit more because it's less cool toned on my eye compared to what it looks like in the pan. So I don't like Glam because of that. But as someone said in my comments on Instagram, I might keep it to mix it if I get the I Need a Nude. But I am leaning into that direction, I must say. Yeah, I think so. I'm swatching now some of my favorite browns, but as you can see, they're much warmer. These are from Glam Shop. Maybe this guy is called Spritz. It's not as warm. Ah, this one could fit in that palette. Actually, better than Vivacious. There. Quite nicely. And that was Spritz. Because the rest is all quite cool toned, or quite warm toned. And these guys are cool, but also this could also fit in there, probably. But then again, is this the undertone that I am going for in there? This is called Jasper, or Jasper. And like, then I have 1, 2, 3 quite similar shiny shades. I actually think I like the Glaminatrix one better than this one. Also, these are super difficult to deal with, I must say, and it's not my favorite. This one right here is something I made, apparently, or it's probably a pressed Nivea Cosmetics pigment. Very high shine and cool toned, but not something I wear actually very often. And this is a very dark shade, a dark brown. And if I have to go dark brown, though, I do prefer these guys. So Lithium and Frozen Brown I have already added to the palette. And Mesmerized from Makeup Geek, I think it just goes really, really purple. These are Tamitanuka pigments, but also a bit too gold for the scope of this palette. This is Truffle Glitter from Anastasia Beverly Hills, a single eyeshadow. And this is a pretty cool toned, sparkly, glittery shade. Does that fit with this palette? It does. And there's a very dark shimmer in there, but it actually looks much more similar to, which one was it? This one that I, Paradise from, yeah, this guy right here, Paradise from Glam Shop. So I'm gonna throw that one in there instead of this guy right here. And I think that's it in terms of shadows that I want to add in there. And I must say that I'm not particularly excited about that palette as I look at it right now. This is my Repanned Beauty Bay Earthy palette, the 42 shade palette. And I was looking if there's anything, but there's not really a brown in here. This is more of green undertone. There's not really a brown in here that would fit. I know Mariam already compared her Pat McGrath with this palette, and I don't now remember what she thought of this shade right here. It's the only thing that came to mind, but mine has heartband first of all, and definitely seems warmer. Let me grab a brush to see if I can break through this pan and swatch it on my arm. Oh, this would fit so well in this palette. Gorgeous. I barely use this shade, unfortunately, just because I forget about it. I wonder if you can even see it as a swatch on this side of my arm. I should make space on my hand. Here we go. I think now you'll be able to see it better on my hand. And you see the shine. I think this shade would fit perfectly in this palette. Not depottable, unfortunately. And this is Bronze Seduction by Pat McGrath. But I don't think I have anything else that then fits into those tones, to be honest. Well, maybe one of these from the NARS palette, but not really. Then I think we have come to an end to this palette making. Not necessarily a super exciting one, I must say though. As in, it makes me think that I really do need a nude palette. Or that nude palette at least. I'm also really not sure that I would use these shades. Like I bought, for example, Frozen Brown from Glam Shop because I really wanted to have more, let's say, cool toned shades. And I think I've worn it once. It just doesn't suit me very well. And the question is, of course, because I don't have the palette, is how cool tone is it really compared to this or what I normally wear? And I'm still like this video didn't really help me to get that impression. Because Lithium, for example, that's about as cool as I go because it has such a neutral base. And that's probably still pretty warm for most people. But if the I Need a Nude palette has all of these rosy tones under in it with this level of coolness, then this is about where I want to be. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm going to try to get this up to you tonight already, so that makes it easier to have a discussion and wait until buying it. Anyway, I'm off for a small holiday next week, so I won't be home to receive any packages regardless. To finish this video properly, I have arranged the palette as if it were Natasha Denona's right here, and I'm gonna swatch it and show you what it looks like right now. And here you have it. This is the palette as duped by me. Let me turn you around to get some nicer angles because it looks so much better from where I'm sitting. And here you can see much better the sparkles and the undertones. I'm not 100% sure that this is the one for me. I must say, I almost feel like I should wear it for a few days first. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching and thinking with me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.